What's up guys, Kevin from Love Digital here. So today we're going to be going through Ads Manager and just kind of showing you how it works and the different levels and stuff. So Ads Manager is where you'll spend like 90% of your time if you're running ads on Facebook. It's where you build campaigns, ads, do all your testing. It's basically like the software per se you have to use to run ads with Facebook. So to get there, you're going to go to business.facebook.com. It's going to bring you to this page. So if you've created your ad account, all you have to do is click on it and then it's going to open up to Ads Manager. There's two other ways to get here. I'll show you real quick. So if you go up here in the search bar and type in Ads Manager, you can click that. And then also you can click the drop down. Mine is saved, but if you go to All Tools, it's in the second column, second option right here. So this is, oh, it's funny, I clicked my Shopify one. I ran a long time ago. Let's see, let's do this one. So this one should be blank, I think. So Ads Manager, so this is where you do basically everything. Mine hasn't updated yet. This is actually the old view still. The new view has rolled out, but my account is just taking forever to update. So yours might look a little different, but fundamentally it's going to be the same stuff. So you have account overview. So this is going to be blank because we don't have any ads. So basically it's just some stats. I honestly don't really look at this much. These are going to be the main three tabs you'll be looking at. So campaigns. So a campaign, so the way to look at this is a campaign is like your offer or promotion or your goal that you're going after. So if we go to create a campaign, you'll see there's a bunch of different options in here. So I'm going to go to guided creation. So I think by default guided creation is turned on, so I'll kind of just show you everything in this because it's easier to see the options and stuff, but I always use quick creation just because I just think it's easier to use. So the campaigns, you're more than likely, it's hard to say without knowing your business or what you're doing, but for 98% of the people I've worked with and stuff and other marketers that I know that use Facebook ads, you are basically going to be using conversion campaigns like 95% of the time. So a conversion campaign is you have to have a Facebook pixel on your website or whatever you're doing, but it allows you to tell Facebook to target high intent interest in people. So essentially with a conversion campaign, you can optimize for people that are going to actually purchase your product, where if you do a traffic campaign, Facebook is going to optimize for people that are going to click on your ad, but not exactly purchase. So there's kind of different levels. So if you look at it like a funnel, so you have like your traffic, and then they click, look at your product, and then people that add it to cart, and then people that actually purchase it. So with a conversion campaign, you can optimize for the very bottom, so for the people that will actually purchase your stuff. And then like if you do traffic, then you can only optimize for the top. And you might get a lot of traffic, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a lot of purchases. So probably 90% of the time you'll be doing a conversion campaign. There's a bunch of other stuff in here you can do. You know, video views is good for branding some. I wouldn't put a lot of budget into it though. If you're a local business, the lead gen and messages, I've actually been doing a lot of stuff with ManyChat and Messenger bots right now. So these two are kind of good to build as well. I'm not going to actually build out any one specific campaign in this video, just going to kind of give you an overview. But these are all the different campaigns. If you go to Facebook Blueprint, if you just Google that, they actually have like a free course essentially that'll break down each one of these. And then also if you hit the little I, it'll kind of give you a little bit more info. But basically I would be running conversion ads, messenger ads, maybe lead gen if you're a local business and don't want to set up a funnel and stuff, or your website's not that great. And then catalog sales. So if you're an e-com, you'll definitely be wanting to do catalog sales. So that's campaign. So campaign is like your overall objective, goal, promotion, whatever you're trying to do. Ad account. Oh, I don't know. That's weird. Oh, because it's not set up. Yeah, see, I've literally never used this because I didn't even know that step was there. So it's not even going to let me go to the next thing. That doesn't matter though, because we're going to do this. Leave this page. We're just going to make a test campaign. Test. Conversion. We're going to turn CBO off. So CBO is supposed to be mandatory at some point. It stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. It's just a way of doing your budget. So I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. Can't talk. So here we go. So I've basically created a test campaign. So once you create a campaign, so this is our test campaign, all of these are hyperlinks to the next step. So if we go under here, it's going to take us to the ad sets within this campaign. So if we hit edit, so the ad set is where you pick your conversion. So for me, it's usually purchase, sometimes lead. Those are about the main two I use. And then also you can do like Messenger and the other stuff I talked about. So you can do purchases in here, or your event, sorry. And then you're going to go down. So we can do dynamic creative, which I use like 50% of the time. I'm kind of testing it at the moment. We're going to skip it for now because it's really kind of an ad level thing. Offer, I've never used this. It's kind of a newer thing. I haven't really tested it. You're going to set your budget and your schedule. I usually leave mine always ongoing because if they're doing good, I don't want them to turn off for any reason. Unless you have like a definite, like if you have an event date or like a certain date, something has to stop, then you can set an end date. I usually leave it open. Audience. So this is where you pick who you're going to target in Facebook. I'll probably make a separate video going over all the audiences, but there are a lot of possibilities here. So by default, it's US, all ages, all genders, and everything. So it's the entire US basically right now. Man, there's just so much in here that you could do. So first off, I'll just kind of highlight all the things. So first off, you can create custom audiences, which custom audiences are basically like you can go to people that have visited your website if you have the pixel on it. You can go with people that have liked your page, engaged with your page. You can go with people that engaged with your Instagram account. You can upload your own customer list, people that have watched videos, messed with your app. Pretty much like anything that if a person has done something with your business, Facebook's able to track that. You can create a custom audience of those people. You can target them specifically. And then you can also create a lookalike audience. So a lookalike audience is an audience that Facebook finds that basically looks just like your list. So any custom audience you make, you can create a lookalike of that audience, and then Facebook will go find people that look like those people. Which is a good thing because that's people that'll probably do the same action as those people. So if you upload a list of all your people that have purchased your product and create a lookalike, then Facebook is going to go find people that's most likely to purchase your product. So that's kind of like the custom audiences and lookalikes. So down here, so you can do male, female, any age range you want from, I think it's, 13 to 65 plus. Location anywhere in the world. You can, usually it'll just be the country or if you're a local business, the city you're in. You do male, female, and then detail targeting. So this is where you basically put in ideas of stuff you want to target. So let's just say I have a pet store, for example, like an e-commerce pet store. Oh, literally there's a pet store. So you could put in pet store, and what I do here, so the way I do detail targeting, say if it's like a brand new client and I haven't ran any ads and have no data, so I would put in one broad thing about my business. So we'll keep going with the pet store thing. So if I have a pet e-commerce store or something like that, or even a local pet store, what you would do is put in like your broad thing and then hit suggestions, and then it's going to give you a ton of ideas that go off of that that's related to that. So if I sell cat stuff, I can do must love cats, people that care about animal welfare, dog training. I saw a dog toy, that would probably be a good one. Honestly, most of these would probably be good. Cat Fancy magazine, really intrigued to see what that looks like. But yeah, I usually just put in a broad thing, hit suggestions, put a bunch of stuff in, and then I kind of narrow it down based off of like what I think would be the best things. Expanded targeting, I usually don't ever turn this on. This kind of gives Facebook permission to go outside of your interests you have in here if they think the people will convert. I've seen it burn some money and not really get that good of results, and I've heard some other people say the same thing. So I usually always keep this off. Something else I'm almost skipped. So if you're wanting to go after like a cold audience that's never heard of your brand or anything, so you can actually exclude people from this targeting. So you could upload your purchase list so that no one that's purchased sees any of these ads, or maybe Facebook engagers or anything like that. You can also narrow your audience down. So what that means is, I'll give you a good example. So let's say we have these interests in here for our pet e-com. but we want to narrow it down a little bit more. So we want these people, and this is a pretty common narrow that I use, is engaged shoppers. So now what happens is they're going to look for people in this audience that they think will purchase or whatever we're optimizing for, but then also they have to cross over into the engaged shopper audience, which this audience means that they've clicked shop or buy now in the last week, or they've clicked the shop now button in the past week. So basically these people are more likely to click the shop button and actually go to your site. So yeah, so that's a way you can narrow your audience down, and you can actually like keep narrowing it even more. So if I wanted like if for some reason I wanted like only rich people, so you can narrow it by income, so the top 10% of income zip codes in the US, and I usually wouldn't do too much narrowing. Usually 2 layers is like the most I'll ever go. Most of the time, honestly, I don't even narrow it at all though. I'll just do interest right here. So that's an option with that. More options, so you can do by languages, and then connections. So this would be, so you do people that like your page, friends of people who like your page, exclude people, app, events, and all of that. I usually basically never use that. So placement. So by default, automatic placements is recommended. I usually always leave it on. There used to be a big thing about like doing all your placements in the Facebook feed and Instagram feed because that's where most of the traffic is. But for the most part, Facebook's algorithm is really good at putting your ad where it needs to be at the right time. So I almost always use automatic placements, especially when starting out and I don't have any data. So I would leave that on. Once you have some data, if you see that one of these is working just insanely well, then you can create ad sets with only that placement in it. And then you can test that against automatic placements and see if that works or not. So last thing is optimization and delivery. So we're optimizing for conversions. So this is cost control, or like manual bidding, whatever you want to call it. And then there's more down here. So I almost never use this as well. You probably will almost never use this. This is for like really large budgets. I do use it some when I want to, if I'm spending like 2K a day, 5K a day, and I really want to dial in my costs. But for the most part, I just leave this whole section alone. I leave this alone down here. And, you know, honestly, you can leave all this on default, especially if you're just starting out. Unless you're spending like 2 or 3, 5K a day, then you can start doing some costs, bid caps and stuff, and testing everything, but I would leave this alone. So that's basically ad set. So the main thing you do in the ad set is just pick who you're going to target. Really all this other stuff, who you're going to target and where they're going to see it, which most of the time is automatic. So main thing you're doing here is who you're going to target, is the main thing with the ad set. So now if we click this, it's going to go down to the ad level, and then we can hit edit right here, or we can hit it right here. So the ad level is where you actually create your ad that's going to run. I don't even have my page connected. Well, we'll just leave his up. That's fine. So basically, you know your ad name. Mine are usually like this: C1 image 1. This would mean copy 1 image 1. Just a test. So you're gonna create your ad. You can use an existing post. I basically never use mockups. It's for Creative Hub. Basically, you're gonna be hitting create ad, and you're gonna make an ad right here. So you're gonna add your media in. You can add an image or video. Did not mean to click on that. Text. So this is your primary copy. So let me see if I can get a preview to come up. Here we go. And we're just going to put Google down here just so this error will go away. So Facebook's pretty good about like telling you if something's wrong. Like they'll pop an error up right here so that you actually have to like do something. So primary text is the text that's above your, oh, here it is right here. Ad copy. So this is really weird. I don't know why. Usually it takes up the full thing. So yeah. So primary text is your ad copy that goes above the ad. Headline is down here whenever it populates. Okay, that is looking super weird. Okay, this preview's being ridiculous for some reason. But basically your copy goes above, headline is at the bottom, and then you have your button, which is by default Learn More. I usually always use Learn More except Ecom. I'll test it against Shop Now, which is right there. Description you can use sometimes. I'm just going to type some crazy stuff here so it pops up. I don't even know where it's going to go because this preview is looking wild to me. Oh, probably because we don't have a Probably got to put something in here for it to do it. All right, we're just gonna do this one. I think it's a short little video actually. Why is this looking okay? Now here we go. Now it's looking better. All right, so your ad copy's above. You have your creative right here, image or video. You have your headline and then description. Honestly, I'll usually leave the description blank, and then it'll just kind of generate one based off of your landing page or website. You can test them in here if you want. And then you have your button, and then it's going to give you a preview URL. I usually also always leave that blank. So if you want to change the URL that's shown, you can. I usually don't. You can do languages. Pixel, you always want to make sure this is on so you're tracking your data. And that's pretty much it. So the ad level is where you create your ad. So I did want to show you dynamic ads real quick. So if we go back to the ad set level, it's gonna, the second box is dynamic creative. Let's turn this on. And then we go back to the ad level. It's kind of weird how they put the setting there when really it's like an ad level thing. So dynamic creative, I use it about 50-50. I'm still testing it against manually doing my own creative test. But basically it lets you put a bunch of stuff into one ad and then it tests it all against each other. So like we could put up to 5 different copies. We could put up to 5 different headlines, up to 10 different creatives. So you can do a mix of images and videos in here. And then once it's done running, you can get a breakdown. So it'll show an extra one right here, which will say by dynamic asset. And then you can see what the best things are that run. It's hard to tell you which one to use because like I said, right now I'm like 50-50 with it. I use it sometimes and sometimes I don't. It's just kind of like a feeling thing. I would personally, if I like had to pick one or die, I would still manually create out my ads. So like if this was a new campaign, I usually test a couple different variables against each other. So what I would do is I would have like 4 ads and then, oh, I did ad sets on accident, but that's okay. So pretend these are all in the same ad set. It would be like copy 1 image 1, copy 1 image 2, copy 2 image 1, copy 2 image 2. And honestly, I'd probably put another one in with a video. So it'd be copy 1 video 1, copy 1 video 2, or just 1 video. So it'd be copy 1 video 1, copy 2 video 1. So usually, so that way I'm testing 2 copy angles, 2 images, and a video all at the same time. You could just throw them in dynamic if you want, but it's gonna, the thing about dynamic is Facebook picks where all the budget goes. So if one of them starts going well, or they think it's gonna go well, they'll put all the budget into that, and they won't test any of the other creatives. With it doing it this way, it still does that, but not as heavily, and it's easier to break down the data. So that's pretty much Ads Manager 101. So that's kind of how you would set it up. So your campaign is like your main offer. Ad set is basically where you do your audience, and then ads is where you actually come up with your ads and creatives, and that's it. So I'm going to delete this, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.